Right, you lot are going to think I've gone completely and utterly mad. And why are you going to think I've gone completely and utterly mad? Well, I'll show you. This is why you're going to think I've gone completely and utterly mad. It's the PlayStation Classic. And we all know the stories about this and how it was a bit of a debacle and how, the selection of games wasn't exactly ideal. And some of the games were PAL, and PAL runs at 50 rather than 60 hertz, and that means they don't play as well. But some of those things have been addressed now, and we've got Bleemsync and Autobleem, which allows you to play a lot more PlayStation games on there. And it also allows you to play games at 60 hertz, so that alleviates a lot of the issues with this. But we've also got Retroarch as well. And that will allow you to play Nintendo games and Sega games and any number of other games on here. So it could be a reasonable emulation machine now. Although, I have heard there are some issues. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to unbox it. And then if I've got time, I'll move on and I'll have a look first at PlayStation games and then at some of the other emulation that it'll do and see how well that does. But for now, I'm just going to get it open, so bear with me. If you haven't seen someone unbox this, then stick with me. If you have, then move on and have a look at the next bit. I've already cut this because I tried to do this unboxing before, but ran out of time. But I haven't actually seen what's in here in the flesh. I've only seen it on videos myself, so this will be interesting to me. Before I get fully into it, though, I did buy that to go with it as well. 8-bit DOE wireless adapter. That should allow me to use PlayStation controllers from, later eras. So even up to the PlayStation 4, the DualShock 4. So that should be good. Got myself a little mini USB stick. I think that's 64 gig. And an adapter, because it doesn't come with an adapter in the box, which drives me insane, but what can you do? It's a Nintendo branded one as well, which I thought was quite amusing. But anyway, where are we with this? Oh, we've got some paperwork. PlayStation Classic. I think that comes in multiple languages, tells you about the ports and things. I'm not going to open that now. Not much to see, really. I'm more interested in the hardware. And first things first, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this actually is tiny. It really is tiny. I'll give you some idea of the perspective. If you haven't seen one of these, it is extremely small. And to give you an idea, that's an Xbox controller box. And this dwarfs this. So this is really, really small. I'd say it's actually smaller than the Nintendo Classics. But it is quite nice and diddy. Let's get it open. It's ever so light, doesn't do very much. This, I think, changes games or something, and this is the power reset. These are USB, and what we got on the back. You got the connector for the power and the HDMI lead. So, the HDMI connector, I should say. This doesn't open. You wouldn't expect it to. So I've seen some people have taken this apart, and this looks like metal here. It's just a little metal plate over the top of these grills. Why they need to put grills in and then block them, I don't know. But it is what it is. There's no fan in here, so it doesn't really need a lot of airflow, from what I can gather. And I did see some people, when they first got this, trying to get into here. But this is just a blanking plate. It does nothing. You can't get in there at all. It's just for show. But I have to say, the case is nice. And yeah, it was one of the reasons I got it, because I thought even if I don't like the bloody thing, I can always rip it apart and put a Raspberry Pi in here. So, yeah, that's all right. I like that. What else we got? If I can get in here. Oh, God, I hate these boxes where you can't get into anything. And there you go. It does come with HDMI lead, thank goodness. It does come with a USB power cable, but it doesn't, as you can probably see, come with a power brick. And that's why I've had to get that. And as I said before, that drives me absolutely up the bloody wall, because they assume you've got these, but what if you haven't? And I did see, I think it was Gamers Nexus did a teardown of this, and in their teardown they said they were going to have a play with it but couldn't because they didn't have a power supply lying around or a wall wart. So yeah, there you go, a perfect example of why you should put those bloody things in the box, Sony. And they're not the only ones. Nintendo did the same thing, certainly in the UK. I think it came with a wall wart in the States, but not in the UK. But not for the Sony. What's this lead like? Let's get that. Well, it's what? A meter. I'd say that's a meter. Controller feels just like the original PlayStation controller. No DualShock, no analog sticks. I think they should have put one in at least with analog sticks. Even if they only put one in and gave us one with analog sticks, that would have been better for me than this nonsense of the original controller with no analog sticks and therefore limiting what games you could play on the bloody thing. But you know, the whole thing for me smacks of a very quick and cheap cash grab, as I said. But well, it seems that it might be a lot better value now with Bleem in on it. And that's the thing I'm going to be doing next. So hopefully I will be able to get this up and running and get it doing some interesting stuff. But in the meantime, that's pretty much all I've got to show. And yeah, I'm going to go and set this up and see if I can have a play with it and see if it's any use. I mean, it's a bit crazy because I don't need to do this. I've got a PC I can do emulation on. I've got an NVIDIA Shield that I can do emulation on. Any number of other items that I can do emulation on. So I didn't really need this. But as I say, I do like that case. And it's actually a nicer case than any of the other cases I've seen that have tried to do a PlayStation Classic. They aren't all that. So, as I say, even if I put a Raspberry Pi in there eventually, it'll suffice. But yeah, let me know what you think, Serb. Bet you'll go any nuts. But yeah, that's me done. And I'm going to go and grab myself a cup of tea as usual. Really need it today because it's the afternoon on a Saturday and I'm shattered. So yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.